Hi guys, welcome to Bollywood Live.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, good to be here, Imran.
Thanks so much. So I saw the film last night. Okay, I have my things. I need to start with the thing. Like, I love the movie first of all. I love the movie for the message that it has given us. I love the movie that it's not stretched for more than like 1.5 hours. So the director was able to tell the movie like within the span of time. Okay, I like the color tone of the movie. Okay, I want to know what was it about? What was it about the movie that you guys liked? So this was the thing that I liked. I want to know personally what you guys liked.
I liked everything about the movie. It has various elements to it. It's a story that, it's, I believe, a very unique story, something that has never been attempted before. It's visually very strong. It's a film that, talks about a lot of things. It talks about love. It talks about jealousy. It talks about power. It's a, you know, fantasy world that Anvita has created here, where there is a lot of drama, where there is romance, there is, uh, innocence. And despite having all these elements, the storytelling is very simple, where you see this journey of this little girl called Bulbbul, which is the character that I'm playing, from being an innocent, gullible person to becoming a strong, independent woman. I think this film has great representation of women, and that for me was the USP of the film. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and we had a lot of fun shooting for it. Each day on set was a new learning experience. I've had this opportunity to work with actors like Rahul sir, Param, Avinash, Pauli, and it was just a wonderful experience for me.
All right, Rahul, will start with you as well. Tell me what drawn you to this movie, and what was the thing that you liked particularly about Bulbul?
When I read the script, I called Anvita back in 2 hours. I think she was expecting a call the next day, but I called her in 2 hours
All
because I
right.
was so struck by the story and the way it was written. Such a beautiful story of coming of age of a woman who's otherwise been oppressed. So that appealed to all my sensibilities as a human being about strong, assertive women, uh, you know, carving a space for themselves in a world that men think they rule. So that was a no-brainer for me to love. But what I loved about it, equally if not more, was the way it had been written as the supernatural fable into which this had been worked in, and the world that she created, the characters that she wrote, the cleverness and yet sometimes the simplicity with which things happened. Um, I could see the film as she was writing it. You should read the script because it's written so evocatively. It's written with pictures in mind, that I could see it. And then, of course, the challenge was to bring it to light. I'm not going to influence the viewers as to what they should think about the film because I've seen the film, but the
Mm-hmm.
world that I saw in my mind's eye when I was reading the script and the world that has emerged, uh, it's as good, if not what I imagined. And the characters, and she didn't compromise for a second on what she had written, on the care of how she had written characters, how she had written my characters, Indranil and Mahendra. So from the clothes to the production design to the photography to all of that, it was a work of love that
Mm-hmm.
was artistic in its entirety. And she's
All right.
fantastic with actors. So I loved every moment of it. And I've said this before, working with Clean Slate Films, and of course I know working with Netflix. But in my 27 years of experience, both on and off the set of a movie, and 36 or 37 or 38 films I've done. This is possibly the finest experience I've had cumulatively, both on the
Whoa.
set, off the set, with the actors, with the crew, with Karnesh, with Anushka, with the entire production team. This is not because this film is releasing. You know by now that I call it as I see it. So for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
really possibly the finest experience of my career.
Wow, that's amazing, ma'am. I want to know about know from you as well. This story is so relatable today as well because a world is going through a pandemic. Within that thing, women are fighting domestic abuse and violence. I guess this movie highlights that particular issue as well. Was this the message given behind the movie?
Uh, this question's for me, Imran?
Yes, yes, ma'am. It's for you. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So, like we were saying earlier, we set out to tell an engaging fable, and it
All
happens to
right,
be about women and things that can happen and things that can go wrong and things that they have to rise from. The
right.
idea is to say that that's terrible things sometimes happen, but people should realize that you will not get away with it if you do terrible things to women. That there is some form of justice that is always served. So think twice before you try to hurt or impose your will on a woman. That is
Mhm.
what the story is trying to do. Bless you.
All right. Okay. That's a good thing. So let's talk about OTT as a platform. Where OTT is providing work for a lot of new actors that's emerging, but it's also helping create a strong woman character. Having a protagonist as a woman, and the story is revolving around the woman. So do you think OTT is that brave to have a film surrounded around a woman and tell a story through her eyes? Like Bulbul. So tell me, what's your view on it? How brave is OTT according to you guys?
Sorry, you said sir. Are
Rahul,
you
we'll start
asking
with you.
Tripti? Okay, good.
No, no, I'm asking.
Um,
We'll start with you.
yeah. Uh, well, look, I don't think it's the platform. Uh,
Okay.
I made Chameli, which was all about a woman and about
Mm-hmm.
her struggles and her rights and her feistiness and all of that, and that was for the cinema halls, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think the bravery or courage is shown by the platform itself. The platform
All
has to
right.
have a belief that many platforms, and I won't name them, are showing the
Mm-hmm.
same patriarchal or misogynistic or substandard trash that you would see in on television or you would see in the cinema hall. So creativity
Right.
and the quality of a product doesn't depend on which platform you're putting it on, but the
Mm-hmm.
selection of the curating of which products come on my platform versus which products come
Mm-hmm.
on other platform depends on the platform. So right now we're talking
Okay.
about Netflix, and we're sitting here releasing a film on Netflix. And there are, apart
Mm-hmm.
from Netflix, there are 2 or 3 platforms in the world today that have shown tremendous taste and tremendous awareness for what they can do with OTT as a platform versus what you could
Mm-hmm.
not do in cinema. But to say that
Right.
you're constrained by putting it on cinema, I mean, the Iranian films of the 70s, 80s, and 90s have shown that you can do things on cinema that are luminous and that would bloom equally well
Mm-hmm.
on an OTT platform. So the short answer is that yes, it can be free to be on an OTT platform, but it depends finally on the taste and the direction the platform wants to take.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's ask the director itself. So tell me, what do you think about OTT as a platform and how brave it is for you? Telling a story about a woman, a story which is revolving around a woman. A woman is a protagonist. It usually doesn't happen in a big cinema, or it doesn't happen like in a movie getting released in big cinemas. Do you think OTT is a platform where story like Bulbul is supposed to go?
So, Bulbul was always meant for a release on Netflix. That is true. But
Mm-hmm.
I believe that
Mm-hmm.
good stories work everywhere. So,
All
आपकी
right.
कहानी अच्छी है, तो it will work whether it's theater or OTT or any like Rahul was once saying, whether it's a play, it's performed on the stage, or it's performed on the streets, or on OTT or theater, a good story will work. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that is the truth. And it so happens that Netflix allowed me to tell this story and tell it well. They supported me in every which way. My producer's Clean Slate Film was partnered by Netflix in trying to tell the story in the best possible way. So for me personally, it was a
Mm-hmm.
great experience that I got to
All right.
show my film on Netflix. So, but stories work. Even if your grandmother tells you at night or sitting on the chat, if it's a good story, it'll work.
Right. True, true, true. Uh, Tell me that what liberty does it gives you as an actor, to have your movie released on a platform like Netflix or Amazon, and how liberating it is for you guys.
See, I'll talk from my personal experience. I personally believe
Yeah.
that, with OTT, I think I moved to Bombay some 3 years back. And when back then, when I would go for auditions and meet people, and I would see everybody would just be cribbing about not having enough work. And now when I go
Mm-hmm.
and meet the same people, they're all doing some of the other things. Somebody is doing a web show for some platform. Somebody is doing a film for either Amazon or Netflix or Z5. So I think it definitely has created a lot of work opportunities for us actors. And as actors or as directors, as filmmakers, I think you can sometimes take creative liberties here because you know that your audience is not limited. You know that your product is going to be seen by people of say 190 countries. So you can, I think, sometimes experiment with your craft. Your filmmaker can experiment with, you know, he can pick actors who are not known because he can, experiment. So I think there's a lot of scope for experiments. Also, since you brought up that topic of, it being a female-oriented film, Netflix, I think,
Mm-hmm.
has. I was watching a film on Netflix, I think 2 days back, and I found out that Netflix has a subcategory where, they have all the
Right.
films that are just women oriented, you know. So I
Correct.
think it's a great step forward, and I think, people are doing stuff for women. I think today we are writing good roles for women. We are, getting great opportunities. We are getting to play powerful leads. And yeah, I think it's the best time for, as an actress to be working in the industry for me. There's work and there
That's
are, great parts for women to be played.
Rahul, sir, like I was talking to you before, I know this is not the right platform to ask that question which I asked before, but you've been in this industry for a very long time. You've been in the industry for 27 years, and I don't know if I'll get a chance to ask you this question again, but I want to know, making into this industry without a godfather, how difficult it was for you, and have you encountered uh, such bullying cases, or and how did you cope up with that? Because that's a message that everyone want to know, and a lot of people might be hoping to hear you and know about your experience and how to deal with it.
So I have a very strong opinion on this, and I have a very clear opinion on this. And there are 5 points that I want to make, but I'm not going to make them here. I never
All right.
ever express an opinion. I haven't done it for 10 years to any journalist because I only trust my words to go out from my mouth through social media. I will post a
Mm-hmm.
page or a blog or a thing whereby
Mm-hmm.
everything I want to say at length with nuance will come out. So I'm not evading your question. I have a strong opinion about it and I will express it. First, I don't believe now is the time at all.
All
And
right.
second, whatever I say to you will be twisted not by you, but by people around you, by people at large. So I'm not going to say
Mm-hmm.
anything right now, but guaranteed, I will be posting something with all 5 points I want to make very clearly put in my own language. So not because of Bulbul
Okay.
and not because it's interfering with the release, मैं जरूर करूंगा लेकिन बाद में.
Okay. All right. So last question that I want to end up, and I want to know everyone's view on it as well. So what are we? The industry is going through a very tough time right now. The major people who are hit right now are the spot boys, the junior artists who are not getting work, and people are losing hope and they're harming themselves. So I want you all to give just a small message to such people to have faith in themselves. Things will get better, and not to do anything harsh. Where they regret and the family regret. Can you do that as?
No, look, there's no point telling people to have faith because nobody
All right.
knows when a cure for COVID is going to come. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Nobody knows when the next shot is going to be taking place, or when the next shooting will happen, or when the next wave of COVID will happen, Imran, and again things will come to a grinding halt. The only thing I can say is please look for other things to do. If you're a spot boy or you're a director or you're a set designer, look for other things to do if you have to keep the home fires burning. If I have to keep the home fires burning and I don't have any money, I will look for other ways to make money, Imran. So everybody, please stop waiting for when your major profession is going to start and look for other things to do that can get you income. And don't worry about your ego. Jo bhi karna hai karo, put food on the table, keep your self-respect and your pride, but don't sit there waiting for a magic moment to happen and everything will be okay. Get strong. Yes, we are all here to help. Personally, I'm very happy to help anybody who wants some other kind of employment. I know spot boys who've become peons in offices. You know, I know directors right now who are looking to do writing for books and stuff like that. So go ahead, find another channel of income. Don't wait for this to happen magically. Be strong and take your responsibility for yourself and your family in your hands.
All right. Guys, you want to add something?
Yes,
Tripti?
I think the entire world is going through tough times, and I think I'm just very lucky, and I keep thanking God that I have basic things like food and shelter, and there are many people who are, walking miles to reach to their families, and it's a tough time for all of us. Every other day, there's some or the other bad news, but I think it's very important for all of us at this time to stay positive and to stay connected with our loved ones, because that is something that's very important. And what we do normally is that we get so busy in our lives that we that's the thing that we forget. We forget to call our parents, we forget to be in touch with our friends. So I think that's what we should all do, and just I know one day everything will be fine, and we should just be positive till then, and yeah, stay in touch with as many friends as you can.
That's very sweet of you, ma'am.
Yeah, these are very strange times that we are living in, and it's the new normal, as they say. So we have to find new ways to deal with ourselves, our responsibilities to our families, our responsibility to ourselves, and how we will function in this world. So everyone has to reconfigure. पुराने तरीके शायद अब काम ना करें at least कुछ time तक. So we have to take all our precautions, be strong as we can, and if not, then reach out to
Absolutely.
your friends, your family. Always know कि कोई ना कोई है जिससे बात की जा सकती है, मदद मांगी जा सकती है. So that's all. God bless you all.
Oh, that was sweet. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for that sweet message. I guess people who will hear you will have something, they'll think about it. So thank you so much for that. And I hope Bulbul is a great success.
Thank you.
People will like it as much as
Thank
I
you.
loved it. All right, they love it for the message
Thanks, Imran.
that's behind it. They love it for the what you can say is like the world that you have created, ma'am. And people are gonna surely enjoy it. I'm sure about that.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much, guys, for chatting with me. I'll see you guys again, and best of luck again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.